All right, well, moving on now. Wednesdays here on the program, we like to put the spotlight on the farm women's group, Common Ground.
Common Ground is a group of farm women who want to be a resource for consumers who want to know more about how their food is grown. In this segment, we hear from Common Ground volunteer Anita Keys about preserving jams and jellies.
Well, we are again hearing from Anita Keys, and we're talking about preserving jams and jellies. And Anita, it's good to see you today.
Good to be back. And what a busy weekend probably you all had too for a Labor Day. Supposed to be restful, but not so much. The Common Ground gals were at the state fair doing some demos there, gave out recipe cards. And if you missed it and would like to look them up, just go to the Common Ground website, CommonGroundNebraska.com, and look under recipes. Just a little bit. Today I'm going to touch on food preservation, mostly water bath canning. You got to remind yourself every once in a while about doing things right and safe. And so that's something that I want to stress. And basically, a jam or jelly, any of those preserved things have 4 ingredients. Fruit, and I always say use high quality fruit. Sugar, always be sure to measure, follow that recipe exactly. Acid, and a lot of times the recipe will have you add like lemon juice, and I just use like the lemon juice in a jar. And then pectin. And let me talk a little bit about different kinds of pectin. There's low sugar, no sugar jelly pectin, and there's regular pectin. You can get those in the boxes, which is pretty typical. You can also buy it in a little bit more bulk here. So I'm going to go through sources. Okay, this might be the Ball Blue Book that you have, which I have had, and mine was kind of worn out. So I went and bought a new one. So it looks like this. Ball also has complete book of food preservation, which has lots and lots of recipes and then little tips. Extension is always a good source. There's another one called the National Center for Canning and Home Food Preservation. And I've done a lot of judging at county fairs this summer. And so the things that we have the most trouble with are headspace. And for jams and jellies, it should be a 1/4 inch headspace. Another thing you might want to know, that shows your altitude. Sorry about that. So I live in the corner of Cherry County, so our altitude is like right at the 3,000. So we have to add 5 minutes to our processing time. When you prep the fruit, they suggest running it under cold water, not soaking it. This is sort of the size kettle I like to use. You want it high on the side. You want to have a sturdy bottom. This is my favorite spoon. It's got a straight edge on the bottom, so that's great for getting to the bottom of your container there. This is a fun little gadget. Use it to pick up, which is a lifter, which I had to get a new one. Good excuse to get a new one. Anyway, and the way that works is you use that to lift it up and put it into your boiling water bath. Use jelly jars. These are 8-ounce jars. These are 4-ounce jars. I'm sure you're familiar with jelly. And the way jelly is, it's made from juice. And so it's clear. Probably our next popular is a jam, and that's got chunks of fruit in it. You want the water to be 1 inch to 2 inches above the jar whenever you're using a boiling water bath. My latest discovery, it's an electric one. So it's got a cord. So that means you can still use all your burners and have this going at the same time. Okay, I have covered a lot of information today. Just want to remind you, find a safe recipe and follow it closely.
Okay, Anita, thank you very much. And you have a recipe coming up.
That's right, and it's got jelly in it, so pay attention.
Okay, sounds good. We'll see you in a few minutes.